I have work in a few hours, okay? But I really want to break this video down because essentially all the stuff that I've been sharing in the past two videos, I'm going to continue to build off of in this video, and I really want to dedicate more time to like really being of connection, like giving you guys what I've learned, because the stuff that I've learned about the nervous system is so integral. It's been monumental in my healing and being able to regulate myself and see safety within my own nervous system. So essentially, let's recap from the last video. I'm going to be repeating points, but essentially the topic that we're going to be covering today is that your cells hold memory. So essentially, when we're talking about memory or the idea of the mind or potential, or the idea of conscious and unconscious, making something conscious or conscious, it's through the nervous system. So essentially, what I'm getting at and what I'm attempting to share with you guys today is the awareness that your cells hold the memory of not just what you've experienced in the past, but hold the potential through creativity and curiosity, the ability to integrate and be aware of memory of what's in your highest favor through a feeling state, a parasympathetic feeling state. This isn't all woo woo. This is in your nervous system. So essentially, I'm gonna be breaking it down in the next couple of minutes, and I have charts because I'm really about this stuff. And somebody asked me recently in one of the previous comments, what books I would recommend. A book I would recommend is a book on anatomy. The book that I really want to offer you guys is let me take this off, is a book on anatomy. It's essentially the whole reason I'm making this video is essentially to discuss um, how to integrate awareness of memory potential through cellular memory, through the awareness of the nervous system and how it functions. So, because that's very, it's spiritual in nature. Because regardless of if you're throwing a notion out there or throwing it at the wall, it's in your nervous system. So no one can say it's not there. It's not a function. It's a part of something that scientists can't even tell you where it comes from. As in, they can't tell you where your heart, why your heart beats, or what pushes you to be able to have a voice. They don't know why you're able to have energy, but you don't have to be plugged into a wall. Other than the fact that maybe we're connected to a higher force, which I'm going to be breaking down in a couple of videos probably in the future, but I don't want to get too rhetoric, so I'm just sharing stuff that I feel comfortable coming forward. So you could kind of see like I'm glowing differently now because I kind of have been just recognizing that I'm able to live a life. I'm able to live a life. I'm able to live a life and have all the, because my life has been solely focused on developing a connection to my non-physical self. That's the best way I could describe it. So essentially, when I started, because let me break it down like this. When I would feel intuitive nudges of what's in my highest favor, I would see visions, like a imagination, like a create, but it wouldn't be like my imagination or creativity. It would be like like a picture that comes up for me. It's not like something I went out and went to create and think up. It kind of came to me through a question or an introspection, kind of like that. And so I kind of would ask like, I would literally, what I noticed was me talking as consciousness, my inner voice. I would speak as the inner voice back to my inner voice. And then I would hear answers. And then I realized over time that it's really, that's what people are talking about when they're talking about intuition or gut feeling. And I realized I'm not getting a directive, I'm getting an intuitive directive. And I started to realize I'm getting like a directive, but it's not like a directive outside of me, it's from within me. And I started to realize in a lot of psychological spaces, they would refer to the unconscious and conscious as potential of memory, because the archetypes are patterns of behavior, and behavior is associated with our muscle memory. And the memory is the story that plays with that's how I was relating to memory at the time, was through the idea of archetypes. And I started to be able to integrate that through the awareness of archetypes, that essentially the whole idea of archetypes, like the 22 major arcana, is to help you understand as mind, body, and spirit, how to understand how the highest potential, your highest favor, God, the divine, can meet you through different types of behavior other than just giving yourself over to something, surrendering yourself. It's understanding that it can meet you through, for instance, an interaction with someone or a conversation with someone. God can speak through people. It's really weird. That's where the occult stuff comes in. That's a cult. That's a cult. Like, that's a cult. But but that's really what that means. It's seeing synchronicities, but you literally start to get so good at it that you start to see synchronicities in accordance with what's in your highest favor, essentially. And this is what people talk about when they're talking about God, are they not? So it's literally in sync with it. It's the same concept. It's just understanding that there's people that understand the language of it and are working with it. And there's people that don't understand the language of it but are working with the notion of creativity and imagination and overall a presence, a feeling. So at the end of the day, I integrate all of this through the parasympathetic nervous system, through the nervous system, through the body, because the reason this is integral is because if you're not feeling a particular way or a certain organ isn't going off, a parasympathetic organ isn't going off in a particular, giving off a specific, allowing you to tune into specific brain waves like theta brain waves, you will not be able to radiate the specific qualities the same way. So I'm just helping you to understand whether you're hitting at it from a philosophical or from a nervous system level or from understanding understanding it through a mental image. It's at the end of the day, like, it's helping you to understand that you can find safety within your nervous system, and it starts to bridge into the higher awareness where, for instance, when you start to ask yourself, okay, what are my next moves? What's my next choices? You may start to see old memories of past experiences come up and replay. And if you've had very visceral experiences that affected you interoceptively, like I'm saying, like something outside of you created an attachment rupture at a very young age, then you may feel a little less attuned to safety in your nervous system. It's about understanding that you as consciousness are learning to become attuned to your body. This is nervous system regulation. That's what it means. You remember how it's essentially saying, when you would go to your parents and say, this is how I feel, help me to regulate it. It's going, okay, they're no longer here now. You are the thing you're going to, you as consciousness. So you go, okay, me as consciousness, what do I feel right now? Body, what am I feeling right now? And then allowing yourself to feel specific ways and allowing yourself to acknowledge when, as you start to cultivate a relationship, you'll start to acknowledge that you have needs in other areas where you may have subjugated them. Like, it goes intricate. But I'm saying at the end of the day, this goes back to memory and cellular memory. And this goes back to understanding this starts from the cellular memory, and through the awareness of memory, that's how you start to become aware of potential of mind and how this stuff can come through so viscerally, as if, like, for instance, you start to ask yourself, what are the next moves? You'll start to have memories of the past come up, but sometimes if you allow yourself to tune into your body and understand that safety is here now in the present moment, those experiences have passed, you can start to integrate that and feel safety in attunement in the present moment. And then you'll start to ask yourself, okay, what's next? And you'll start to get curious, like, what if I brought my energy to this space? Or what if I started to create in this type of way? Or what if I just expressed myself in this space? Or created a container to share and express this thing and share it with other people? Or just express it with myself, and then when I feel comfortable, share it. Like, there's ways to, like, cultivate a relationship with this, or even just cultivate a relationship with yourself. And it's about expression at the end of the day. It's understanding that regardless of all of this talk, the way to bypass depression is expression. It means regardless of if you're feeling a freeze state, because what we're getting at with all this nervous system stuff is you're either if you're in a state of what you've been conditioned to express from, and if you've been conditioned to express from certain fight, flight, freeze, or responses, then you're gonna may frequent those. You may frequent a cycle of those potentials may be occurring again. It's about understanding and regulating the emotion behind that, so you can understand the story behind it, so you can understand, oh, this is the narrative that's playing, this is the belief system that's underlying it, and this is the emotion that's amplifying the belief system. So then I can understand that I am the awareness, I am not my thoughts or the emotions, but they are helping to guide me. And then I can start to be able to understand that I am awareness within the body, and I am able to function and channel my energy through the body. And this is how you start to channel your life force, your energy. And it's a art. It is art. It's the highest form of art. So for any creative out there, this is one of the highest art forms. Creating, understanding yourself, understanding your nervous system, understanding how you feel. And the reason that I got into all the nervous system stuff, and I say that it's kind of excessive, but no, get into it if you really feel like you need it, because it's not excessive, because it's really, if it's necessary for you, it's necessary. Because for me, I was having all these intuitive things going on, but I didn't know what the hell was going on in my nervous system, and I wanted to know. So I learned, and then I learned, and I was like, oh, it's not in my head. This is a physiological experience I'm having. And it got to a point where I was like, I need to speak about this. I'm literally like, I have a job in a few hours. I gotta go to it. But like, I just want to say like, but when I'm working, I think about this stuff. This is like, it's not even when I'm just there. I'm doing stuff. When I'm not even just doing stuff in my own personal time, this is all I think about. This is all I think about. All I think about is giving the people the stuff that I've learned, because I know it's helped me. And like, look at my glow. like, I've seen crimes against humanity, and I don't have a wrinkle. Like, y'all, like, please just hear me out. Understand that the nervous system regulation here matters. And I'm not just hyping up my beauty. Understand that it's not a, like I said, my beauty, but I'm saying like my fucking appearance. I'm saying like, because I speak a lot of affirmations to myself. When I look in the mirror, you can literally look at my mirror right now. I put all the affirmations. I put this stuff to work, is what I'm saying. I don't care what you guys think about this stuff, because I want you guys to see the potential and how this is matters and how it could matter. But you know what? It doesn't really matter. Like, you don't need to. But like, it's kind of more about like, I see how much it's amplified me. So like here, I'll take a step back. The fact of the matter here is just express yourself. Put this stuff to work. Just have fun. It's about having fun. That's where it gets powerful. It's when you have fun with it. So like, for instance, like on my mirror, I put like, I am healthy. I see my ideas as clearly as I can. I am unity. I am, yeah, stuff like that. So literally, like, and so this is what I mean. Like, it's about putting this stuff to work and really integrating it. And so, yeah, I stand 10 toes down on everything, and I love myself. And I want to move you guys to feel that for yourself as well, and to see that, and to understand that you don't have to feel shame. Why should you feel shameful for that? Okay, and understand that tension is probably can cause inflammation down the line, and it's about releasing that, so you can start to see what beyond this tension that I'm feeling is the expression and potentiation of how I can be carrying myself, or even just baseline feeling calm. And that's the baseline, and that's why it goes back to understanding, or why I really like to bring it back to understanding the little tiny circle. Parasympathetic, 80% of your parasympathetic nervous system is associated there. It is what moves the thermostat, the red, your central nervous system, to be able to move your peripheral, which is where the peripheral is where your five senses are, which is where most people get all their information. So I'm saying your potential to either defend what is within that thermostat or express what is within that thermostat. You, the awareness, the memory, you, awareness, you, the non-physical self that is connected to potentiation, memory, social memory, which is associated to being able to tune into other people's awareness. That gets into a whole nother stuff, and I'm going to break that down in a couple of videos. But it's through the nervous system, and it's understanding the nervous system is what differentiates us into higher states of consciousness. So that's essentially what I was talking about. For anyone, there's somebody that deleted a comment but asked, Why is the nervous system so important? It goes back to connecting to memory, which is the spiritual and mind component, because it's the mind component, and then through the mind component you can expand through curiosity, imagination, creativity. But it's not just that. I'm saying through creativity, imagination, creativity, spirit can meet you through a vision, is what I'm getting at. It's not like you're creating it, it's coming to you. Okay, it's not like, but it's not even like just inspiration. It's, you did not see it before, it's just coming up and like through your nervous system. And this is what the unconscious is. This is where the unconscious is, and it's associated with your heart. And I'll break more of that down. And if we want to break that down on a non-physical level, for the people that are into energetics, your assemblage point. And for people that are into quantum work, your quantum field generator. Like, anyway, yeah, that's it. And I'm gonna make another video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Oh, and somebody asked me like how they can reach out to me. I can make a website, I can make a Patreon. I don't know, you guys let me know in the comments, but regardless of that, I'm just gonna keep putting this stuff out, and the stuff that I want to put in the Patreon is more like the creative stuff, like the stuff when we're talking about putting this stuff to work and really working with torsion fields and stuff like that. Anyway, besides that, have a great day. Bye bye.